Okay, hi, kiddo. And we're going to take a look at passing. So, first and foremost, the things that we've talked about before. Um, Passing is between your ears and always will be. Great passers have the same two arms, two legs, same two eyes, everything that you have. It's just what makes a great passer is between their ears. And I'll just share with you some of my thoughts that I had when I played. You have to have front row, back row mentalities. And passing is really simple. We tend to make it complicated and tend to think about it too much. And remember, we talked before about clearing your mind of thoughts when you're back here to pass. And there's a lot of games that you can play, and I've shared some of those with you. But, the biggest and best one is just to check your thoughts all the time. If you think you're going to pass poorly, you are. Because what's in your head will always be in your hands. So, that said, little things to think about, and we're going to take a look at the shape of your body and see how to enhance, how to make your passing better. We've talked about a lot of the rules and the laws of the universe involved in passing and how they apply, so we're not going to revisit those. But biggest thing I could share with you is, as a coach, hitting is simple. It just isn't that difficult. Passing can be for a lot of different people, but passing is by far the most important skill you can have in volleyball, by far. And the reason is you can't play if you can't pass the ball. But again, going back to what I just said, you don't pass sometimes because of what's between your ears. So you really have to think and play a game with yourself. And like I said, I've shared some of those with you. So, and we could talk about those some other time. But for now, let's just take a look at how you're passing. Remember, you always want to talk to the person next to you about the seam between you. You talk about the one between you before it happens. And a lot of times when you talk about your passing, it also helps you become a better server and a better hitter, because you can get tendencies and where to hit it at somebody, serve it at them or hit it at them, to see where they're not going to be as competent in passing the ball, be it serve, receive, free ball, whatever. Over time, you really can study those things and understand them and come to a much clearer thought process about how to make people less than comfortable when they go to pass. So right now, just looking at you, I can tell that you're a right side passer because you have a lot of weight on your right foot versus your left. And this is okay. I mean, everybody has a preferred side to pass on. Some people say that left is right, right is wrong. Personally, and I think you've heard me say it hundreds of times, I don't care if you pass the ball with dead fish and pie in your hands as long as you give me a pass. So that's important to remember. But I can clearly see that you're a right side passer, so let's take a look. Another thing too is the weight here. Your weight is on the inside of this foot, but not this one, because your heel's off the ground and it's not off the ground here. You have to play with those thought processes when you're passing, especially in practice, to see what is a comfortable way to start and get a good jump to a pass. Now, it's not necessarily fair that you're back here by yourself, because I'm not sure who's serving over here, but you're going to try to cover the whole court, and that's going to be difficult. With two other people with you next to you, it's going to be easy, but you kind of want to, again, talk about the middle, the serve between you ahead of time, and not while it's being served. I love it when people say, "Oh, you gotta talk." Now, yeah, duh, you gotta talk. That's the other thing too that's funny, is when people say, "Oh, you gotta pass the ball." Gee willikers, really? I didn't know that. Everybody knows that. But anyway, I digress. So here, let's take a look. Served it in the net. Great start. You can kind of see yourself rocking up on your feet. And you can very clearly see that you're taking a ball that's down the midline. You can tell where your arms are, that's coming right at you, but you're still going to take it to the right side of your body. And it's perfectly fine. The things you want to look at are really Oski down. Remember, here's your Oski. Platform being frozen in time and space, and just changing the angle to get it to the target, which is normally right front. And we've talked about these things so many times. There's enough enough energy in the ball when it's served, and I've shown this to you. If it lands on the ground, it's going to bounce in some comparative value to how much energy was in the ball. But most of the time, the energy in the ball that's being served has enough energy to get to the target without you swinging at it. And when you start swinging at the ball is when you make mistakes. You come up, you overcompensate and drive it too far. It's how you get overpasses. So you want to stay down as much as you can. And this looks like it's a pretty easy serve. So you came up. Oski's not down, but platform didn't move. And I'll go back and do it again. Show you again. You really want to see that platform remain still. So there it is. And I'm talking about your platform. And it really did not come up. It didn't move. You left your eyes left a little bit too early, and I'm going to go show you again. You want to look it into your arms and then look it out, just like a golfer or a baseball player, a baseball hitter watching the ball come off the bat. Or you want to keep your head down. Really good passers, you'll see this. They'll keep their head and eyes down. Once this leaves your arm, your eyes aren't going to help it. You're not Superman. You're not going to have x-ray vision to help it move somewhere. So you want to keep your head down. Again, just like a golfer would. And I know your father golfs, and he can explain this to you. But I'll show you again. So now we're just watching your head. See how your eyes have already left? Your head is already pulled up. You really want to keep your head down. I don't mean tuck your chin into your chest. Just keep your eyes down a little bit longer, and it'll help with your accuracy. Oh, and look where that pass went, by the way. Because you came up, your Oski wasn't down. I'll do it one more time. This is the same pass. See, you came up. Everything came up. And look where this pass landed. Right there. At 10 feet. That's not good. Can't run the quick effectively. Can't run an offense effectively. Pass at 10 feet. Middle blocker would take a step back and get ready to move to either direction, knowing that there's no middle attack. So got to have this pass to right front every time. It's got to be right front. Okay, it looks to me like you're running a long way to pass this ball, and this isn't fair. You're just one person trying to cover the whole court, so I'm just going to motor through it. Even a ball that's served to your left, you can see the shape of your body. You're wanting to take it down the right side of your body, and that's okay. So, and you did very much on the right side of your body. So it was served to your left, but you still played it to the right. This is okay, but I think the biggest mistake you guys make sometime is when you're standing back here to pass, you're standing equal distance away from each other. Well, if you want to play it to the right side and you start here, take maybe a step over. So now you're playing everything to the right side of your body. You guys don't have to be 2-finger spacies away from each other. Change the geometry, change the angles to enhance what is comfortable for you. And a lot of times, you don't think about those things. But I'm just like you are. I'm a right side passer. I prefer it on the right side of my body. So I'm going to move over as much as I can to take everything to the right side of my body. If you're standing in the middle of the court and you have another person over here passing and you move that way, if it's too far to the left of you, it's her ball. Now it stands to reason, if she's a left side passer, presents a tiny little problem, but those are things that you set up. You set up people in places in the back row based on their strengths. So I would not put, if you're a right side passer, I'd put another right side passer over here. Over here may be a little bit different. You just got to look at your personnel and see where people are comfortable. But you figure those things out in practice with kids to see where they're comfortable, and then you put them in places and tell them to move. Start over a little bit. Don't start equal distance away from the next person, and then you can balance the floor for the maximum, positives as far as your ball control. And sometimes you don't think about those things. And I'm going to be honest with you, on the club team that you play on, and we've talked about these things endlessly. It's not about trying to tell your coach. I'm not trying to tell you what to do. I'm trying to enhance what your coach is telling you what to do. So maybe you make those suggestions. And we have talked about how to talk to coaches. And some people, everybody's egocentric. And you just can't walk up and tell a coach, an adult, this is what I'm going to do. It doesn't work. But we've talked, in many different ways about how you should speak to your coach and make suggestions. And they're all very polite and they don't threaten anybody's ego. And those things are critical. If you're going to have it, you got to talk to your coach. You have to do it. So I love it when kids walk up to me and talk and make those kind of suggestions. And it's always the same answer. Sure, let's try it. So right side passer, again, I'm going to ask you, if I could clone you really quick, that'd be fun because you're such a great kid. There'd be two of you. That'd be awesome. And you go back here to serve. You're going to serve this person to the left side of their body because they're uncomfortable with it. And again, going back to indoor, outdoor, the rules still apply. Outdoor, you're going to do it for sure because this person is going to be uncomfortable moving over here to pass. And that's a big word of mine, is making people uncomfortable. I don't want to make it easy for you when I serve at you. I'm going to make it difficult. And even though sometimes we talk about these things and they seem complicated, they're not. They're really simple once you train your brain to study it. So calm in passing, playing the ball to the side of the body that you're most accurate and comfortable with, and clearing your brain, checking your thoughts. Remember, I told you, the thought that I put in my mind was my children when they're young, because it's almost impossible to have a bad feeling. Well, you don't have any children, so maybe it's a puppy or a flower, or I don't know. You get my point. But you take those thoughts, I hope I don't pass this ball poorly, out of your head and put another one in it, and it really works. The other one was, we talked about drawing a line in the ether, okay? And above the line is light, and below it is dark. And you have to pull yourself into the light, and once you get down below that line, that imaginary line in the ether, into the darkness, you figure out a way to pull yourself back into light. It really does change your mood, emotions, and your accuracy. And you do it all the time, constantly, when you're playing. And if you have a better methodology of doing it, fine, figure it out. And they're just suggestions that I'm making for you. So it's to the right side of your body, still right side, okay? But good pass. Looks like a good pass. Yeah, it's a very good pass. Just the height of this pass we should talk about, because as a setter, you have to understand. Sorry about this silly drop down. Gosh, I hate this thing. I cannot remove it. I've tried everything. But as a setter, when the ball gets up in the air really high, it's not deaccelerating. It's coming back to earth, and it's going to weigh more because it's up higher and it's accelerating back to earth. So that really high pass changes the thought process of a setter. So really, where it's comfortable, to me, is just above my head, right at 11 o'clock is where I'd like to have it, because it doesn't weigh as much as if it was really high. And again, sometimes I don't think you guys think about these things. Just the height of that ball, or a lot of spin on it, top spin, back spin, is going to affect how it comes out of your setter's hands. So you see that pass was, a foot, maybe a foot above the tape. That's perfect. It's very comfortable for me as a setter. I'm sorry this video's jumping all over the place, but, I was taking it on my phone and walking around. Again, on the right side, very distinctly a right side passer. You haven't taken the ball to the left side of your body yet. And again, I want to reiterate, it's okay. Just change where you're standing on the court to accentuate the way that you are comfortable. Another pretty good pass. It was 8 feet. Standing 2 straight up. Okay, you got to get your Oski down. Okay, well, I know what you're thinking. Wait a minute, the ball was into my chest. Okay, then move backwards. You want to play the ball as low to the ground as you can all the time. That's nice. It's very nice. Again, right side, Oski down. This looks great. Good foundation. Not sure about your eyes, but the picture's not very good. And that's okay. You're keeping your head down. I'm not talking about, like I said, tucking your chin into your chest. I'm just saying keep your posture down. Don't watch it. Don't let it come right off your arms. Right off your arms. And then look at it. You don't need to. You're not going to change the direction of it with your eyes. Force yourself to keep your eyes down. Not a very good jump. Obviously, you're having to lunge towards it, which is, a little bit lazy. But really, everything is a question of motives. You're not in a match right now. You're by yourself. So your motives are a little bit lower. There's no question. And you're in a very non-threatening situation right now. But you really got to take your passing seriously in practice. Sometimes when you guys get into passing in your practices, it becomes social hour. And again, passing is the most important thing. If you can pass, you're going to play. If you're equal to another hitter or equal to another DS or libero or whatever in ability at the net, so in other words, I'll do it another way. Let's say you're playing left side, which I know you're a left side hitter, and there's another girl that's equal to you that's just as good a left side hitter as you are, but you pass better than she does, guess who's going to play? I'm telling you. It's that important. Of all the things that happen on a volleyball court, if you can control the ball, you will win matches. Period. Very nice. Good work. Oski's down. Platform, let's see if it moves after the ball leaves. And it just didn't. Eyes left a little bit early, but that's okay. Platform stayed still. It's perfect. Remember, how you hold your hands is entirely up to you, too. This isn't how I hold my hands, but so what? As long as they're together and you're creating a platform that's effective to deliver the ball to the setter, we're good to go. So I think that is a very good place to start talking about things. Certainly not a lot of stuff to change. It looks really good, but just being aware of what your strengths are and what you're comfortable with, and then taking that stuff into practice to enhance it, is just just thinking all the time about everything, and every element of how you play is critical. So there you are. Look forward to seeing you again.